Hello, everyone. Welcome to game number 2 of our best of 3 series between DeathTacticus and blackmagic. Nice win to blackmagic last game. DeathTacticus, despite getting the found that he wanted with a fair amount of bonus cash, not able to keep up with blackmagic's upgrades, ends up falling out. In particular, potentially not able to spot blackmagic's Offworld. Philathanic here once again with us. I imagine he's had a good look at this map, which seems to be very, very strange this game.
Yeah, so I was just going to mention this iron with DeathTacticus decides is the best spot for 30k. It's pretty much the only iron patch on the map. There's like a couple lows scattered around. And then also the double high carbon right next to each other with the scavengers. The issue with this is you have your start upgrading resources down here in the lower right-hand corner, and everything else all the way on the other side of the map.
Yep.
There are a bunch of lows, and this water, which blackmagic got the better hand, getting the high versus DeathTacticus's medium. And I imagine blackmagic might think about grabbing that low to get that adjacency and force DeathTacticus to ship further, but we will see.
Yes, blackmagic does have a spare claim right now, and I don't see any other particularly high priority single tile to take, although he's electing for the silicon water. I don't really like this decision. I think that the way you were looking was a little bit better, taking this low water and maybe moving into something based off that.
I think both players not taking this low water is a mistake, simply because it makes everything harder for your opponent, not so much that it's a great tile.
Yes, exactly. That said, this silicon will secure glass production a little bit more easily for blackmagic. It'll have his silicon costs for this glass in particular, and maybe that was just his consideration that HQ3 was going to be a major concern, and he needed to do something to try and catch up to DeathTacticus now, as DT basically started the game at HQ2.
Right. If blackmagic can beat DeathTacticus HQ2, he can still take that tile and make it painful. The one thing about blackmagic's found is he decided to found in the crater, and there are EMPs on the black market, so...
And it's a very small crater, let's be honest.
It's a very small crater. You only can go one way. So, I don't know, I think I would have... The problem is, so you go outside the crater, your upgrade to HQ2 is going to be a lot slower. He's already at HQ2, but long term, I would like to see him out of the crater instead of in the crater. It's going to cause some pain one way or the other.
That is absolutely not what I was expecting blackmagic to do with that mutiny, and I question it quite a bit in some ways. It's pretty valuable. I guess blackmagic planning to transition out of that glass, so it's a bit more reasonable. There was an opportunity to mutiny silicon in order to secure enough silicon production for your glass kilns to stay online, but considering there just wasn't very much pressure on glass, only one warehouse at the colony, blackmagic's just going to transition into one of these life support resources. DT, by the way, does get the low water tile inside that crater.
Right, DT also hitting HQ3 before the scavenger, which is never something you want to see as a scavenger player. You are now behind two bonus claims plus the HQ upgrade. So,
and another claim.
And now another claim. So blackmagic needs to find a way to get the upgrade as fast as possible. He needs 1k, 0.8k. We'll have this upgrade.
It's in the aluminum if he just chooses to take it, but he's not selling down aluminum for the time being.
Yeah. Has the upgrade. Water is really low, so right now it's not an immediate concern, but DeathTacticus does have a little bit over 3.75 water income a second, which should be fine for the short term. Blackmagic only has 2 water, so that will be one thing to think about whenever water decides to increase above 4. But for the time now, both players can ignore it.
Yeah. For now, it's going to be okay. Decent stockpiles built up from getting into those water tiles so quickly, but you are right that that's going to be a concern later in the game. In particular, blackmagic noticing that he's only really got 2 resources to maybe consider moving into. You got chems and you have food. Fuel's still pretty darn expensive, so he's going to choose to attach another farm. I'm not sure that's the best decision, though. Might have liked to see an additional electrolysis reactor come down, but should still be okay. But you got to say, a single farm, this single black magic farm, maybe not as profitable as the reactor could have been.
Well, so he is going into 2 geotherms, so we have 4 geotherms on the map. Power is going to drop in price very quickly. What I'm guessing blackmagic is thinking is, noticing DeathTacticus is in C debt versus blackmagic's A debt. If he can crush the price of power fast enough, DeathTacticus won't be able to pay off as much of that C debt as he would like, and maybe DeathTacticus will be struggling in debt problems throughout the rest of the game. He does bribe a claim to throw down the second greenhouse farm. No, wait, no, he did not. He swapped out of one of his.
He swapped out of carbon. Yeah, he has an EMP stored up right now, which could go. All right, going to land on the electrolysis reactors. I'm just fine with that. Let's see. Has another black market cooldown up though. Needs to use it. Needs to use it right now. It's actually just inexcusable that this black market cooldown has not been used yet, because there are spies available. There are mutinies available this game. Easily can afford them if he just sells down a little bit and starts fighting over this power. Try and lock DT into, as you were saying, that high amount of debt. Whoa. 18 for the claim.
Yeah, but
Black Magic's going to give it up. All right, he needs to finish this game fast.
He might not need that black market to lock DT in a high amount of debt. DT's like, I'll lock myself in it.
Well, that's fair, but you want to make sure that he stays there. EMP is going to land on these farms, actually. Instead of focusing on the geotherms and the power whatsoever, I'm just going to choose to attack the farms and the electrolysis. That is fine, too, as long as he's using that black market.
Right, so DT is in a bit of trouble right now, I'd like to say. All of his money producers are offline. He needs 24k to hit the upgrade. Power is crashing, and he still is only barely gone into C debt, which in 5 hours of game time he'll tick back over into D.
Yeah, not looking particularly pleasant for him at all. I think he is also actually, despite the fact that he has plenty, more than enough power online, he is still managing to leak food, and so still continuing to gain debt per second right now until these farms come online.
Right.
Oh, but manages to hit back with an EMP. That's at least something before he falls back to D, and then the interest tick hits for 37,000.
Ouch. That's the only way to put it. 160k in debt at HQ3 Sol 4. Not a place you want to be as an expansive, fighting against a scavenger who has that shorter cooldown on the black market.
Certainly does. Now, the one advantage that DT still has, if there is a single one left on this map for him, is that, well, 2 advantages. If he can hold on and upgrade, he will have a ridiculous number of claims over black magic after these auctions. Second, black magic is still in this crater. His EMPs of DT's hit a lot more tiles than black magic's EMPs hit. They're far more efficient. But I have to say, I have a feeling that is not going to be enough to actually change the way this game is going to go.
Yeah, it's true that DeathTacticus EMPs would hit black magic harder, but right now in D-Det they're only theoretical EMPs versus black magic is throwing real EMPs against DeathTacticus.
Oh boy. Well, DT's got 25,000 stored away. He is still looking to upgrade. Black Magic not quite with enough cash to be truly threatening just yet, but is almost halfway to the buy at the current DT price. All right, 14,000 is what Black Magic gives that up for. For anybody curious, I do believe that Shift A as a hotkey will immediately end the auction in the 1v1 if you aren't interested in it. Is what that is. I know that's what it is when you're against the AI, so I'm assuming it's the same thing here.
Black Magic takes the upgrade, transitioning back into carbon as he drove the price up through the roof. DeathTacticus also hits HQ4, so I think our tiles per player are about even.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty similar at this point.
So blackmagic kind of wants to just keep hitting DeathTacticus with that black market. Just make it as hard as possible to make any money, get the upgrade, and look to end this game as soon as he can.
Indeed. Well, that's been kind of the goal. That's always how you kind of want to be playing as a scavenger as well. You know you've got to end the game quickly. Blackmagic seems to have set up the game in a fashion where that should be possible, although he is currently letting DT make quite a bit of cash from these farms, and that's something he definitely wants to be avoiding.
Right.
A huge stockpile of cash just disappeared from DT.
Blackmagic,
completed a building
instead
there.
of going offensive, decided to purchase a hologram with that last black market cooldown.
Well, it wasn't you going to use a cooldown, so I'm not going to...
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Not going to get too upset. Oh,
Nope.
DT just actually gives it up. Doesn't even want to bother trying to fight through all of this. Blackmagic was starting to pull in a huge amount of cash once these glass kilns came online. And if an EMP had been available, and in particular this carbon as well, hacker ray was coming down, shortage of carbon at this moment. If the EMP could have come down, it would have been huge. But slant drilling online, glass kilns online, farms available. Too much. DT decides he does not want to try and fight through it and just gives it up. So a 2-0 series
From
for
Blackmagic.
Blackmagic. Who would have called that at the start? I don't think many players would have expected that. A lot of people expecting DT to end up winning this particular tournament.
He was the poll favorite, but you never can count out the like outside Blues and DeathTacticus are definitely our sort of tier 1v1 players, but very close behind, nipping at their heels, Yarand, Blackmagic, a couple others. So it's still have to play the games, and that's why we play them and cast them. I think DeathTacticus pretty much mistake was taking
Too many
the spot.
auctions.
Well, too many auctions. He also took the spot for 30k. I don't think it was worth anywhere near 30k because this scavenger spot over here was also quite workable.
Yeah, it was a very reasonable location. So sacrificing 30,000 debt and giving a claim to your opponent, that's a huge deal.
Yes, and then Blackmagic realizing that if he goes heavy into power, he can kill the power market before DeathTacticus could get himself out of C debt. And after that, Blackmagic sole possession of the offensive black market against DeathTacticus. DeathTacticus getting further and further into that debt hole as the interest rates pile up. Once again,
and those EMPs just kept raining down. I mean, Blackmagic did not let up for an extended period onto DeathTacticus, and by the time he did, pretty much almost anything DT could have done from there was going to be too little too late.